Hello and welcome back to Rage Gaming and Ark Raiders. It's expedition time in literally a couple days. So here's a checklist of things to know and consider, important tips and concepts. When is it happening? December 17th to the 22nd. That's the time window you have. Once you commit, you'll be waiting for the reset that happens seemingly on December 22nd by their wording. But there won't be another chance until the next expedition, which is happening apparently 60-ish days after that. Here's what you keep. The maps you've unlocked, like, Stella Montis, Blue Gate, those kind of maps. You'll keep your raider tokens, credit, raider deck progress, cosmetics, codex, and that's basically it. You will gain some things, but what you will definitely lose is all your levels, all your stash. You'll have to, actually get all the gear again and upgrade the stash, which is going to be a nightmare. All your learned blueprints are gone, of course. Your currency, because you're resetting, all your workshop and the levels. And of course, your quests will be at the beginning again. So it's a lot to give up. What do you gain? You're going to get the patchwork raider outfit. Hopefully that looks good. No idea what it looks like. Then you got the scrapper janitor cap, expedition indicator icon, maybe your first expedition. And you get 5 skill points for doing it, assuming you have a stash value of 5 million or higher. You get 1 skill point per 1 million in value, as you probably know. So yeah, the perks are increased XP gain, 5%, increased scrappy materials, 6%, improved weapon repairs. It's a 10% repair buff. So I'm thinking based on that, it's just a greater amount of durability that a weapon gets when you repair it. So if you're getting 50 before, 10% of that, you get 55. You're also going to get 12 stash slots on top of all of that. So if you start it and you fully reset, you'll have 12 more than you started before. And by the time you've fully upgraded your stash, again, 12 more than before. Further, in future expeditions, you're going to increase the buffs you get. So your account buffs, these expire if you don't go on the next one, but they increase in power for the next 3 expeditions. So probably capping out on the 3rd upgrade. Let's say it's 5% XP gain now. On your second one, it's 10%. On your third one, it's 15%. That is my speculation. What are you going to do with the skill tree? Well, if they don't rebalance things, it's going to look basically identical with some minor changes for me. I almost hit what I would have wanted to. I am praying that they make some major patch where they rebalance the weapons and the skill tree and all kinds of things to make the game feel fresh again. But if it does turn out that it's exactly the same, here's what I'm going to do. Start with a 1 point in Nimble Climber, go into Marathon Runner and Youthful Lungs to fix my stamina issues. After that, down into Survival, straight to in-round crafting so I can make bandages and shield recharges. Then I'm going to beeline for Security Breach, way harder than I did last wipe. Yes, nerfed Security Breach. Here is me doing them today in the middle of the day, pulling renegades, venators, and all kinds of useful stuff that I am obviously just selling to make the 5 million. Yeah, I'm not pulling purples as often, but I'm still pulling them, especially at night. And what's great about new Security Breach post-nerf is everyone underrates it. So you get very little competition and often they're unopened, which was not the case when it was busted good. So it's still really good and will be a prime source of equipment and money in the new wipe, especially when you've got nothing. Again, venators, renegades, without paying anything for them. Yeah, sure, I'll take that. To get there then, I'm going to do the exact same path, except I'm going to reallocate 2 points. Agile Croucher, 3 out of 5, is instead going to be 3 out of 5 Silent Scavenger, because it's nicer to be quieter when looting. And the truth is, I don't need faster crouch movement, I can stand up and slow walk, so I've wasted 2 points in my opinion. Otherwise, I'm really happy with the way I spent the rest of my points, so that's what I'll do. And I will be picking up Good as New and Suffer in Silence. But the thing I care most about here is reaching Broad Shoulders ASAP to get 5 out of 5 in that. Then I will go into full Looter's Luck, pick up Travelling Tinkerer, and the full Stubborn Mule, and 3 points in 3 Deep Breaths once again. That gets me to 37 Security Breach. Then I will go Conditioning. I will 5 out of 5 use the weight straight away, so my medium shields are no longer slowing me as much. Maybe in the world where they rebalance things, this will be really nice for heavy shields, if they buff that or improve that in any way. I really rate Proficient Prior, because at 3 out of 5, the Harvester event is so much more doable. 5 out of 5 even better. And then I spend my other points like so, picking up Survivor's Stamina as the priority rather than Unburdened Roll, and getting straight to Loaded Arms, so again, my encumbrance, my weight, is greatly reduced. Then with the many remaining points that I have, I'll actually pick up Unburdened Roll. I'll go 5 out of 5 Slip and Slide, which will let me get into Carry Momentum. I'll go Effortless Roll, and I'll go Heroic Leap, and pray that these have been improved or fixed, so that they feel like they're actually working. If I have any remaining points, I'll have to weigh up whether I'm going to spend them on something that seems relevant or minorly useful. But the truth is, I think I'm going to sit on a lot of points. By the time that I hit 5 out of 5 Slip and Slide, I very well could not spend Carry the Momentum, Effortless Roll, and Heroic Leap, and I might hang on to those points. If they rebalance the skill tree mid-wipe, when they nerfed Security Breach, maybe they buff something really hard mid-wipe, then I'll want those points because it doesn't look like they're going to give us a respec, which which is something to think about. The project itself has 5 stages. If you haven't done this yet, then I am surprised, but let me help you if you need it. First stage is metal parts, rubber and arc alloy. Those are whatever. It's the 15 steel springs you need. You go to any warehouse location, so that's industrial tag, and you will find these en masse, so should be easy. Stage 2 is durable cloth, wires and electrical components. These are all craftable from baser resources. But then you have the 5 cooling fans. For this, you loot any server or tech breachable location, of which there are so many on loads of maps, including in these random small rooms. It's just server walls, you pull them from these. But you can find tons of these on Stellar Montis, like say the control room. For stage 3, you have easy things like batteries and sensors, but harder things like light bulbs and an Exodus module. For the Exodus module, I strongly recommend you go to Stellar Montis, go to the assembly workshop and loot that. You'll find things that recycle into Exodus modules. For light bulbs, I think it's a straightforward one. You just go to Blue Gate, you go to Pilgrim's Peak, and you loot all the cars around it and on the roads, ideally within the red border to spawn the light bulbs, but that's how I did it. For stage 4, you're going to need 5 humidifiers, which are easily found in red lockers across all of the maps. But you could just bring yourself to the Spaceport, to the departure lounge, and there's the locker room on the southwestern point. Tons in there. You also need 5 advanced electrical components. You can craft those with a refiner, and 3 magnetic accelerators. You can get these from matriarch or queen parts very easily. Go with a ferro and shoot the legs and then loot the broken parts. Or just safer, Stellar Montis, workshop assembly, loot that location. You can recycle into these. You also need 3 leaper pulse units, so kill leapers, find any location they can't fit in, and shoot the core until they're dead. And then for the 5th stage, it's basically what we've been doing now, where we're selling everything, but you just dump it into the project. So that's combat items, survival items, provisions, and material value. You can follow the Make 5 Million options in this video that we're about to talk about to do basically all of these anyway. But I imagine most of us have already done the project, so let's move on. Alright, now we're going to talk about the 5 million value for the 5 skill points. I think so many things work, and I think blindly telling you that you need to do this one thing and all the other things that people have told you to do are terrible is silly. So obviously, just make money, sell everything you find, you'll be fine eventually. But obviously there's better ways to do things and important things to know if you're going to properly do it. The art director of Embark said exactly this. Matchmaking is quite complex, so we do analyze behavior and match accordingly. What does that mean? Well, it might mean that gear matchmaking's real, as some originally claimed, despite them saying that's not true. It could mean, as some people are claiming now, that there is aggression-based matchmaking. So if I go in killing everyone I see, I end up in lobbies with only PvPers. I don't know how real that is either, but in my experience, I was doing the 5 mil grind initially and everyone was attacking me. No matter where I was, no matter what I said, what I did, it was shoot on sight. When that big thing happened with this quote, I decided to give it a try. I turned off crossplay as a PC player, where, you know, average age will range a bit higher, but I stopped attacking anyone. I let people kill me. And eventually, after a few raids of that, I started to get a lot of friendly players. This guy just gives me a blueprint and extract. I didn't do anything for that. This guy just dumps a load of stuff to me because I didn't shoot him and spoke to him. I'm not saying this is going to be your experience, but I've definitely felt a shift when I stopped attacking people. It felt like I was just getting chiller people in my raids. Or was it the crossplay? Or does none of that matter and it was pure coincidence? If you're willing to try it, go for it. What does definitely work is running the minimal kit that you possibly can, meaning you're investing the least you possibly can so that when you die, you lose the least, and when you gain the most. You're going to take whatever you find in this raid and sell it, including weapons, gear, and equipment. Unless it's a higher tier weapon that's maybe blue or purple, and you can slap some attachments on it and make it a really valuable single slot in your stash for the overall stash value. So invest absolutely nothing. Just run a free kit every time, then there's no loss. Survive? Cool. Upgrade to a looting Mark 1 via Lance, and then run that until you die. Your free kit provides you with the bandages and shield recharges, and maybe during runs you end up looting some arc and pulling out what you need to make some basic shield recharges. Scrappy's gonna fuel you for all your bandages, and then I run literally just free loadouts. If I get a gun that's relevant, like a kettle, ferro, whatever, maybe I'll upgrade it once or twice using the stuff that Scrappy's bringing me anyway for free. But I think you should run the minimal amount possible to function and kill someone if they attack you. Alright, now let's talk about your run options. There are various money-making methods that exist, plenty of valid options. You can't really go wrong. Something that's going on in the community right now is this big discussion about the only valuable craft that exists, It's crafting energy clips, 1 advanced arc power cell and 2 batteries. I craft this right, and it gives me 5 instead of 1. This sells for 5,000. So it is technically money efficient or effective if you have them. But should this be something you're spending your time farming? Hard to justify because it's really not that valuable. But just running a map, going to a red loot location, looting lockers or residential or commercial, leaving, you'll make more money faster. So I just don't rate that. But if you have them, sell them. If you can craft them, go ahead. You kill some big arc by coincidence and you have the materials, cool. But in my opinion, my top choices are Stella Montis and Spaceport. Stella Montis is much more dangerous in theory, but in plenty of times, there's been absolutely no PvP. People have been friendly because I've spoke to them, I shoot no one. Maybe I get the friendly matchmaking, I don't know. To give you a map rundown, you want to spawn near the assembly workshops or medical research. You go into the assembly workshops and you loot all the containers on the ground floor, go to the second floor of the left room and loot all the containers in there. Be thorough. It shocks me how so many people walk past containers in here. They'll loot like the big obvious one and ignore the one that's in the corner. In these locations, you can pull blues and purples that are worth great money. Then you just go to the other side, do the same thing. And then where do you extract when you've got a full bag at this location? You never ever go to the lobby. That is a PvP zone. You go to the loading bay, or you go to the seed vault. Let's say you've just looted the assembly workshop. I make my way around to the medical research and loot the containers that are here, coming up over the top into this corridor, looting the containers that are here, coming to this corridor, loot the containers that are here, then go into cargo dock A. On the top level, I'll go to the edge and drop down like so. There's this room and area here called the logistics admin, which has a surprising amount of containers and valuables right next to extract. Then you can drop down and go down into the subway. This is one extract. If it's a bit risky, you hear combat, you know something bad's going on, you can then instead pass to the other side, going to the southeast where there's a door over here. This brings you into a robotics sandbox and bring yourself over to the seed vault. The other route is to spawn in medical research and just loot it as fast as you can and get out. Make sure you're being friendly on VoIP or spamming don't shoot and hope for the best. If someone attacks you, fight them and have some fun with this long monotonous grind that they're giving us. Here's a run where you have over 100k in value in just a couple minutes. Here's a run where it's a free loadout, so very weight limited, and it's a very quick 40k in extract run. Here's another run, 75k in value, positive player interactions. If that's scary to you, then you can go to Spaceport instead, where there is plenty of potential, but you do need security breach to really get the biggest value out of it. And the problem with Spaceport is that you get dud spawns. You want to spawn on the top side, so the west side. If you spawn on the southeast side, it's a dead run. So you extract as quick as you can, or if you're on a free kit, just leave the raid. Having said that, you can go to the rocket assembly. There's some lockers on the top side, and you get magnetic accelerators and other purples there, so there is some potential there. You can hit fuel control and the small rooms and then extract quickly. But the juice is in the department building side. At each one of the towers, you have the security breach. So there's one here, there's one here, there's a room down here that has 2 in it, there's another one here, and you have another room down here. So you hit all of these in a run, and then leave as soon as your bag's full. You can get the god spawn though, and spawn say water towers, or fuel processing, or fuel lines, and then just run into departure building. On the western side of the departure building ground floor, you have this breach door that leads into this ridiculous shower room with all these lockers, and it's comical value. On the god spawn, you run past the west elevator and call it. You now have 2 minutes and 45 seconds to come back before it leaves. So you just run into departure building, fill your bag, come back, and leave at the already open extract. I've had runs with this where I'm genuinely in and out in 3 to 3.5 minutes. If you want to do a longer run, then you can hit everything at once. Go in, get the locker room, go to all the different towers, and fill your bags with only the most valuable. But in my opinion, it's better to get a solid win and bank it, which is basically 40k or higher, and then get out. The faster you're in and out, the less likely it is to be contested at extract, and the more successes you're going to get. Now, the old reliable option that could be safer for you as an alternative is something like Lush Bloom runs. So when Lush Blooms is up on a map, you just go to it, pull up an interactive map, look at all the basket locations, and path through them, looting all the baskets until you're absolutely full, and leave once you are. A banked win is a win, and you want to run the Lush Blooms as many times as you can within that 1 hour. With these runs though, you should be expecting 80k or higher even in a very quick run, which is fantastic, but it's not always available. Alternatively, you could go to any storm map and do those Rocketeer husk runs. So again, you spawn in, pull up an interactive map, see where the husks are, run and path through them, especially during storms where there's loads of them and it's just not contested for whatever reason. So it's easy loot, and you can get parts for energy ammo crafting potentially. Those are safer options, so go for them if you want to. Lastly, I want to highlight the blueprint transfer trick. If you have a friend that is not going to reset, they're not going to do the expedition, that means that their stash is going to exist in the current way that it does. So play the game, find blueprints, save them. Then before you actually go on the expedition, you give all your blueprints to a friend who is not going to reset. They then come into the raid and drop the blueprint that you gave them. You will need to leave the raid with the blueprint, so the fastest, lamest way to do this is go in with nothing, put the blueprint in your safe pocket, then just get out the raid, even if it means throwing yourself off a cliff, and then learn the blueprint in your stash. This is a theory, logical strat, but since it's never been done before, and been confirmed that it will work, we can't say it will for sure. But since we're able to do this with blueprints in the game right now, it should work unless they make a patch or major change or talk about it after the expedition. But yeah, it does require a second account that's not going to reset. Personally, I have 2 friends from my group who don't want to do the expedition, don't want to reset for fair reasons. So I'll be giving them my blueprints and trying it. But yeah, I hope this overview and bunch of different topics was useful to you. I wish you the best of luck making your decision, getting to 5 mil if you haven't yet. And hopefully, big balance patch, change for the game, coming soon. Until next time, I've been Hollow, you've been you, and thanks for watching.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.